Hello everyone, JSGC here, and we're here for another Manchester City transfer update. Remember, daily transfer updates for Manchester City throughout the rest of the transfer window for the summer 2019 window. So make sure you subscribe, press the red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers, see if we can hit that by the end of the transfer market. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget, you can go check out my social media links, which you can find in description below and popping up on screen, for my Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date with all things Manchester City news, and my opinions, and also what I'm up to. And you can go make sure you leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget, leave your thoughts in the comments below. So we're going to crack on with this video, and we're going to move on to the ins first and foremost, like we always do. And we're going to be talking about the subject of the majority of this video, which is Thiago Almada. Now, Alan Nixon provided an update on Twitter just yesterday, saying that Manchester City have had a breakthrough in the Thiago Almada deal, and a transfer has been agreed of £16 million. He said that Manchester City wanted to originally send him out on loan to Girona, but they've been relegated from La Liga. They're now in the second division of the Spanish football leagues, and so Manchester City wanted to send him somewhere a little bit more competitive, and that's where this partnership comes in handy with Sporting CP, as they felt like it was a better alternative for this season. Apparently, Alan Nixon was saying that it was just going to be a one-season loan rather than two. I was reporting yesterday that City were looking at the possibility of possibly loaning him for 2 seasons rather than the normal 1 season. Team City are going to stick with the normality of the 1 season. Now, Thiago Almada, you might ask yourself who he is. He's an attacking midfielder, can play as a second striker also. He's only 5'7", a little bit small. He's been dubbed the new Lionel Messi. I hate it when players get dubbed the new this, new that. I mean, they have their own personalities, they have their own style of football, they have their own achievements. So to compare it to someone like Lionel Messi, why? I mean, why put the pressure on him? Anyway, he was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He's 18 years old at this moment in time. He's played 16 games for Velez Sarsfield over in the Premier Division, the First Division, over in Argentina. He's also an Argentina under-20 international. I'm just wondering, with a player that's only played 16 professional games, whether he will actually be playing regularly for Sporting Lisbon if he did go out on loan there. If he does end up playing on a regular basis, that's fantastic. That's a brilliant move. Competitive division, competing in the top division in Portugal, being able to compete alongside clubs like Benfica, FC Porto, just to name just a couple of teams over there. It would be really good for him if he does get the playing time. If he doesn't, he's just going to be used as a rotated option. He's going to get some learning experience. If he's not going to be used at all, I've seen some City youngsters loaned out, not be used at all. A little bit frustrating. We're spending £16 million on a player. I'd want them to be playing on a regular basis, if I'm honest. And so we've got the question, is he good enough? Is he not? Is this the right time? It's a risky move. We'll have to wait and see. But to me, I was thinking that we need to get this loan right. Whether that be a loan in Europe or not, we could keep him in Argentina. He's playing for Velez Sarsfield at this moment in time. He's playing games. We could keep him there for another season, sign him, but keep him there for another season. That'd make sense, in my opinion, being able to utilise him, see how he gets along for the next few months, see how he develops, then ask the question again in the winter window. Obviously, we signed Gabriel Jesus, brought him over in the winter window. We signed him in the summer, brought him over in the winter, and see how he gets along and see where we go from there. That's a possible alternative that City could look upon, but it does seem that they're going for the Sporting Lisbon option at this moment in time, and so it's one of those where we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell as to whether this deal with him going on loan to Sporting Lisbon will work out or not. I do fear that a club as good as Sporting Lisbon and a player that's only played 16 times at this moment in time of professional football, whether he will actually be utilised by Sporting Lisbon or not, or whether they might just use him as a squad player. We need to get this right and hope we'll get a good move for him. I want him to go to a competitive league. Obviously, I want him where there's going to be some pressure on him so he can get used to it, because let's face it, there's a lot of pressure when it comes to playing regularly in the Premier League, and if that's the ambition in the next season or two for Thiago Almada to be able to play competitively in the Premier League, he's going to have to get used to the physicality of European leagues. He's going to have to adapt very quickly. He's going to have to adapt to the culture, different cultures coming from different continents too. There's whole different kinds of matters here that City do need to work on, and it'll take time. It will. Give it a season or two and we'll see where we go from there. But £16 million for a young player, wow, wow, wow. It's getting expensive, but we'll have to keep an eye on his development. But he's a player that I would look forward to seeing, obviously, in the next couple of seasons. Obviously, won't be doing pre-season, as pre-season will be coming to an end in, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks' time. So we'll have to just wait and see on his developments and see when City do announce him. But City won't sign him and announce him. City will sign him sort out his loan, then announce his signing and where he's gone out on loan. So if there's any hold up in this deal, that will be what it'll be, along with a fee. Velez Sarsfield, they're trying to get him to sign a new deal so they can get his release clause high. Obviously, City seem to be happy with going at around £16 million, which at first I thought City were a bit reluctant. Seemed to go in that way. Wasn't some confusion. I thought it was €16 million his release clause. I've paid €16 million. I've paid £16 million. We'll get clarification on whether it is euro or pound. It matters because pound obviously a little bit stronger than the euro, so it won't be £16 million. We're looking at around £15 million if it is €16 million. So there's a little bit of information and some stats and some stuff to look at. He's played 16 times. He scored 3 goals for Velez Sarsfield, by the way. So for you to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you excited to see Thiago Almada? Has anyone seen him play? If anyone has, please let me know in the comments. What did you think of him? So we'll move on to the next ins, and it's the last player in the ins, and we're going to be talking about something that's been dragging on for a little while, and it's Joao Cancelo. There's been a little bit of an update on this, just keeping an eye on things at this moment in time. Apparently City are down to 3rd in the pecking order for Joao Cancelo, behind Barcelona and Bayern Munich. There was some talk of him possibly staying at Juventus. Some developments overnight have suggested some of the comments that he's made that you wouldn't imagine he's probably staying at Juventus. Seems set that he wants to leave. I mean, he has been told by Sarri that he's not needed, so obviously clubs like City, like Bayern, like Barcelona come calling. You're going to think, if I'm going to get starts there, then you'll go there. So we'll keep an eye on if he ends up going anywhere. If Bayern or Barcelona end up signing any right-backs, we'll keep an eye on the latest developments with terms of Joao Cancelo as well. We'll obviously keep an eye on Harry Maguire. I'm expecting him at some point, potentially to be signing for Manchester United, so we'll just at this moment in time just keeping an eye on things, because it only takes 1 or 2 sales for Man City, a Mangala leaving, possibly an Otamendi deal agreed or something like that, and all of a sudden the ball starts rolling. City need players, then City will be a lot more active. So at the moment I think City are just dipping their toes in the water, shall we say. So we'll move on to the outs now, and we'll speak about Brandon Barker. Now Alan Nixon again has been speaking, and he's saying that Preston North End are chasing Brandon Barker again. This time they want him on a loan deal. Now this deal, Preston's been keen for the last couple of weeks. However, nothing's materialised because City want a permanent deal for Brandon Barker. Got 1 year left on his current contract with Manchester City. Preston want to loan him again. They had him on loan last season. Want to have him on loan once again. City want a permanent deal to be able to cash in and make a bit of money. So we're at a stalemate at this moment in time, and I'm fairly confident with me knowing how City work, how Preston work too. I think Preston will just hold back and drag this out towards deadline day, knowing that something has to give, and they'll probably look elsewhere to see if they can find alternatives if Brandon Barker doesn't work out. And so at the moment in time, a little bit of a stalemate, but a little bit of an update on Brandon Barker. Now, an interesting one, this one coming from Alan Nixon, and I'm going to be talking about a football club called Bury. Now, Alan Nixon said that Bury have been in contact with Manchester City because they want to be able to loan some players. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a story of what's been happening if you aren't too aware of what's been happening in the lower leagues in England. Now, Bury, they've been going through a little bit of financial hardship. They had their assets seized, so they couldn't pay the players. Had a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of a financial crisis through them paying too much money towards players. It got to a point where enough was enough and the money was seized up, so they couldn't afford to pay the players. They couldn't afford to be able to pay for the maintenance at Carrington that City were giving out, and Bury were having it for free in exchange that they were keeping on top of Carrington training ground. They haven't been able to afford it, so City took it away from them, and City were criticised for it. Well, Bury at this moment in time, they took out a new agreement. They've been hit with, because of this agreement, they've had the assets unfrozen as far as I'm aware, and so they've got access to money again. Because of that, though, a lot of their players have left. They've lost their manager, they've lost a lot of their key players, and they're going through a lot of hardship. Minus 12 points, they'll be starting League One in next season, and they've not even got enough players to be able to field a first team 11. And so they've been inquiring around and looking for some loanees, and apparently they've been looking to Manchester City to try and get some players in on loan. And so I'm not too sure what players they're looking at just yet, but I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. What players would you loan to Bury? I mean, what players would you think are of good League One standard that you know they're going to be able to develop? Because let's not forget, these youngsters, this move has to be right for them, as well as it being right for Bury to be able to sign some players. Bury, a team in Greater Manchester, Obviously, we want local teams around, or at least I do anyway, want the local teams in and around Manchester to be able to prosper and be doing well. What you don't want is going through hardship. Bury's going through it. Bolton are local. There's two clubs there that really do need a helping hand. City have an abundance of money, an abundance of great academy players, and it'd be a great experience for some of these players to be able to play on a regular basis in a competitive league. And let's face it, England's EFL, the Championship, League One and League Two, they're competitive football. These are professional footballers, and it'll certainly, I don't want to use the term, but it'll harden the players up, and they'll get used to the physicality of how things roll in England, because there's a lot of direct football here, there's a lot of physicality, a lot of headering, a lot of second balls to be won. Get them used to it, and being able to do that, it's good competition, because in my opinion, League One, League Two football is better than playing EDS football, because you're playing with professional footballers, you're being able to develop, and you're learning new things. And as a young footballer, couldn't think of anything better than for experience in a competitive league. And I do think that City, if they get the opportunity here, and it does work for the player and it works for the clubs, then Bury and Bolton, we can send players out on loan there and see how it works. Obviously there's a loan limit for these clubs, but every little helps. And like I said, I want these clubs to be doing well. What I don't want is for them the way it works out when you read into the details, it's shocking, it's terrible, it really is. Been ran into the ground by some bad decisions, some bad owners. How they've got clearance for the EFL, I have no idea. So I'd like to see City helping them out. I mean, there's other clubs that's gone through, Notts County, Coventry. I mean, we're not a charity case and being able to help them out, but these couple of clubs, Bury and Bolton, they're in a local proximity to Manchester and to Manchester City. So yeah, I feel like if we can help them, then we should. Love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think we could loan out? Because there's an abundance of young players here that are available to learn. Now, last but not least, in the news, quick story. This one developed as of this morning. Regards to Douglas Luiz, gave an update on him yesterday. The update is, at this moment in time, we're waiting for him to sign for Aston Villa. Telegraph are reporting that'll be done in the next couple of days. Deal is already agreed. We're just waiting for one thing, and that's full clarification that the work permit's been approved. Obviously, we had sources yesterday saying that Villa, they said that the work permit's going to get approved, so it just needs approving, ticking off, and then announcing. That could come today. I'm expecting it, according to the Telegraph, to come in the next couple of days. So some point this week, hopefully, Douglas Luiz will leave. Remember, £15 million deal. There will be a buyback clause. So there we go. That has been the video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Press the red button and press the bell and put your push notifications on. That'll make you subscribe and you'll be notified immediately when I've uploaded, to stay in the loop with everything Manchester City transfer news. Whenever there's news, I'll bring it to you first and fast. So make sure you stay tuned for that. You go check out my social media links, which you can find in description below, my Twitter and Instagram. I'll keep you up to date by retweeting sources and tweeting opinions and tweeting things that are happening. So make sure you stay tuned for that and go and follow me on there. That'd be much appreciated. Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I'll see you then. So it's been JSGC. Hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.